The truck market right now is a complete scam. You're being forced to pay $65,000 for a brand new pickup with an 8% interest rate over 84 months. That means you'll actually pay $82,000 total. In 23 years of turning wrenches under trucks, I've seen more people crying in my shop than I can count. They're crying because their truck payment is higher than their rent. But last week, I had a customer named Marcus. He just bought a 2022 Ford F-150. The truck only had 12,000 miles on the odometer. Marcus paid exactly $19,500, cash, no loan, while that same truck was listed for $45,000 on AutoTrader. What's the secret? Repossession auctions. Sounds scary, right? I get it. Everyone thinks repo trucks are garbage, but that's exactly what the dealerships want you to believe. After 2 decades inspecting hundreds of repo vehicles, I've learned this. The best repo truck isn't the cheapest one. It's the one you know how to inspect correctly. Today I'm going to show you the exact 3 steps. How to find high-quality repo trucks, how to inspect them like a professional mechanic, and how to negotiate to get the absolute best price. If you want a pickup truck without destroying your retirement account, you cannot skip this video. Comment Repo if you've ever thought about buying a repossessed truck, or comment Scared if you're worried about the risks. Let's get into it. Let me explain why the repo market even exists and why it's actually a goldmine for smart buyers. According to Cox Automotive's latest data from 2024, vehicle repossessions hit their highest level in 14 years. We're talking about over 2 million vehicles repossessed last year alone. That's a 600% increase compared to 2020. Why? Because people bought trucks they couldn't afford during the pandemic with 0% interest, and now reality is hitting hard. Here's what most people don't understand. When a bank repossesses a truck, they don't want it. They're not in the truck business. They're in the money business. They want that truck gone as fast as possible to recover whatever they can. The average repo truck sits for 30 to 45 days before auction. Every single day it sits costs the bank money in storage fees, insurance, and depreciation. This creates massive opportunity for buyers who know what they're doing. But here's the mistake 90% of people make. They think repo equals cheap, so they buy the absolute lowest priced truck at auction without doing any homework. Then, 6 months later, they're in my shop with a blown transmission, wondering why they got a bad deal. That's not how you do this. Let me tell you about a client named Sarah who did this perfectly. She's a real estate agent, not a car person at all. Sarah wanted a Chevy Silverado, but couldn't stomach the $58,000 price tag at the dealership. She came to me asking if repo auctions were legit. I told her yes, but only if you know where to look. Here's the insider truth. Not all repo auctions are created equal. You've got 3 main sources, and 2 of them are traps for beginners. The first source is online auction sites like Copart and IAA Insurance Auto Auctions. These sound great in theory, but here's the problem. 80% of vehicles on these platforms are insurance total loss, not repos. They're flood damaged, wrecked, or have salvage titles. You can find repos here, but you're digging through massive amounts of junk. The second source is small local auctions. These are hit or miss. Some are run by honest repo companies, but many are dealers dumping their worst trade-ins and calling them repos to create urgency. The third source, and this is what Sarah used, is bank-owned vehicle programs through major auction houses like Manheim Marketplace. These are closed auctions that require dealer license access. But here's the trick. You can hire a licensed broker for about $200 to bid on your behalf. Sarah found her 2021 Silverado with 18,000 miles this way. The truck had been repossessed from a contractor who lost a big job and couldn't make payments. It wasn't damaged, it wasn't neglected, it was just a financial casualty. She paid $23,000 for a truck worth $42,000 retail. Now, here's your action checklist. 1. Avoid any auction that doesn't provide a vehicle history report. 2. Look for trucks repossessed in the first 6 months of ownership, because these are usually buyers who overextended, not people who abused the vehicle for years. 3. Focus on trucks with under 30,000 miles. 4. Check the auction's return policy. Manheim offers a 3-day mechanical arbitration window. That's huge. Here's where most people lose money, and this is where my expertise really matters. I had a guy named Tom come in 2 years ago with a Repo Ram 1500 he bought for $18,000. He thought he got a steal. Within 3 weeks, the engine threw a rod. Total repair cost, $9,000. The truck was worth scrapping. What happened? Tom never inspected it. He saw low miles and a clean body and assumed everything was fine. Let me give you the mechanic's inspection protocol that I use on every repo truck. First, start with the exterior, but not the paint. Check the door gaps and panel alignment. If the gaps are uneven, that truck has been wrecked and poorly repaired. Repos from accidents are common because the owner couldn't afford the insurance deductible and stopped paying. Second, check the frame. Get under that truck with a flashlight. Look for any welding marks, fresh paint, or rust repairs. A repoed truck shouldn't have frame damage unless it's been hidden. Third, inspect the engine bay for evidence of neglect. Pull the oil dipstick. If the oil is black as tar or smells burnt, that engine has been run hard without oil changes. Check the coolant reservoir. If it's brown or has floating particles, the cooling system is contaminated. Fourth, and this is critical, check for computer codes. Bring a $20 OBD2 scanner from Amazon. Plug it in and check for stored codes. Even if the check engine light isn't on, there could be pending codes that indicate transmission problems, sensor failures, or emissions issues. Fifth, test drive it hard. Don't baby it. Accelerate aggressively. Brake hard. Listen for clunks, grinding, or hesitation. A repo truck should drive like a normal truck. If it doesn't, walk away. Tom skipped all of this. Don't be Tom. Now, you might be thinking you don't have the skills to do this inspection yourself. That's fine. Hire a mobile mechanic for a pre-purchase inspection. It'll cost you $150 to $200, but it could save you $10,000 in repairs. I offer this service, and I've saved clients from countless bad repo purchases. Now let's talk about the part that actually puts money back in your pocket: negotiation. I had a client named David who followed my system perfectly on a Ford F-250 Super Duty. The truck was listed at auction with a $28,000 reserve price. Comparable trucks were selling for $55,000 retail. David ended up paying $24,500. How? Because he understood the psychology of repo sellers. Here's what you need to know. Banks and auction houses operate on volume metrics. They're judged by how quickly they move inventory, not how much profit they make per vehicle. This means timing is everything. The best time to buy repo trucks is at the end of the month and the end of the quarter. Why? Because sales managers are trying to hit their numbers and they'll approve lower bids to close deals. David bid on his truck on March 31st, end of Q1. The auction accepted his lowball offer within 2 hours. Now here's the negotiation formula I teach. Find the truck's wholesale value using resources like Manheim Market Report or NADA Guides Wholesale Pricing. This is what dealers actually pay, not what they sell for. Subtract 15% from wholesale. That's your opening bid. The auction will likely counter. Your second offer should be wholesale minus 8%. Stick there. If they reject it, walk away. There's always another truck. David's F-250 had a wholesale value of $27,000. He offered $23,000. They countered at $26,000. He came back at $24,500, and they accepted. Another critical tip: avoid bidding wars. Set your maximum price before the auction starts, and do not exceed it no matter what. Emotion kills deals. I've seen people get caught up in auction fever and pay retail prices for repo trucks. That defeats the entire purpose. Let me break down Marcus's deal in complete detail, because this shows you exactly how the numbers work in real life. Marcus bought that 2022 F-150 XLT with the 5.0-liter V8. Retail price at a Ford dealership for this exact truck was $45,000. Certified pre-owned price at CarMax was $41,000. Private party value on AutoTrader was averaging $38,000. Marcus paid $19,500 at a Manheim bank auction. But wait, there's more to the story. The truck needed 4 new tires because the previous owner had worn them down to the wear bars. Cost $900. It needed a full brake job front and rear. Cost $600. And I recommended he change all the fluids since we didn't know the service history. Oil, transmission fluid, differential fluid, coolant. Total cost $400. So Marcus's all-in cost was $21,400. He drove that truck for 1 full year, put 15,000 miles on it, had 0 mechanical issues beyond regular maintenance. I know because he brings it to my shop. After 1 year, that truck is still worth $36,000 in today's market. Marcus has 21.4 into it. That's $14,600 in instant equity. Compare that to buying new. If he'd bought new at $65,000 with 8% interest, his payment would have been $940 per month. Over 1 year, that's $11,280 in payments alone. And the truck would have depreciated to $52,000. He'd be $14,000 underwater. The repo route saved Marcus over $28,000 in the first year. That's real money. Before you run out and start bidding, let me give you the warnings nobody talks about. First, understand the legal side. Some states require repo buyers to wait 30 days. This is the redemption period, where the original owner can reclaim the vehicle. Make sure the auction handles this properly. Second, financing repo trucks is harder than normal used trucks. Most banks won't finance auction vehicles. You need cash or a personal loan. That's actually a good thing, because it forces you to buy within your means. Third, not every repo is a deal. I've seen repo trucks sell at auction for more than retail. How does this happen exactly? Dealers bid them up because they're trying to restock inventory. If the bidding goes above wholesale, stop. Fourth, some repos have hidden damage from repossession. Tow truck drivers don't care about your paint. Check for scratches, dents, and undercarriage damage from improper towing. Fifth, emotional repos are the worst. If someone gets their truck repossessed, they're angry. Some people sabotage their own vehicles out of spite. I've seen sugar in gas tanks and cut wiring harnesses. This is rare, but it happens. Always do the full inspection. Now here's when you should not buy repo. If you need a warranty, buy certified pre-owned. If you can't pay cash, don't do this. If you're not willing to do research, stick with dealerships. Repo buying is for disciplined buyers who treat it like an investment, not a lottery ticket. Let me bring this home. Buying a repo truck the right way isn't about being cheap. It's about being smart with your money. You're getting the same truck as everyone else, but you're paying 50% less. That extra $20,000 or $30,000, that's a down payment on a house. That's your kid's college fund. That's early retirement. While other guys are paying $800 a month for a truck that loses value every single day. You're driving free and clear. No payments, no stress. Just a reliable truck that does the job. Don't let the shiny showroom fool you. The smartest truck buyers in America are at repo auctions, not dealerships. If you found value in this video, hit that subscribe button. I post new truck buying strategies every single week. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever bought a repo vehicle? What was your experience? Tell me all about it in the comments below. I read every single comment and I'll answer your questions. Remember, the best truck isn't the newest truck. It's the one that keeps your bank account healthy. Now get out there and find your deal.